that no matter what happens, as bad as it gets out there, it's really a good time.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki wants people to understand that most people approach their financial life as an outsider, following the advice of what financial professionals are telling them to do. He wanted to be an insider, to be prepared for what is coming next. He worked to find contacts within money management organizations that would give him a peek behind the curtain of what is happening with money in the world we live in. He wants people to understand that money doesn't function the way it did 40 years ago, and the same principles for long-term savings don't translate. In order to be prepared for what's next, we must be able to think outside of the time we are living in now and do things outside of how they've always been done.
So what my rich dad taught me is a combination of being an entrepreneur in business and entrepreneur in real estate.
One such way that Robert does this in his own life is by creating teams of people to help him be successful in his businesses. He knows that he isn't able to do all of the tasks that are required to operate a business, and he isn't afraid to admit it. This is one mindset he says people need to get past. Don't be afraid to admit you can't do something. It doesn't mean you're weak if you say you aren't able to do it. Because of this, we need to learn to reach out and ask for help, and what he calls cooperate with those who do know how to do what you're asking.
It is not a time for old ideas, and it is time for new ideas.
We need to learn to work together. Robert wants people to think differently. By going against the grain of many things that have been instilled in us all our lives, we can find paths to success. In order to be prepared for what is coming, we must learn to look at the world differently to see it.
It's because it's from the present you can make a decision. Am I going right? Am I going left? Or am I going to do nothing? A lot of people get financial advice from outsiders. If maybe a financial planner, a stockbroker, a real estate broker, but they're not on the inside of the deal. And one of the reasons I like being an entrepreneur and being a real estate guy is I'm always trading from the inside. I know the deal. I'm part of the deal. I am the deal, But the average person who buys like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, and saves money, they're outsiders. They have no idea what's going on between them and the real world of inside. So Jim Rickards and Nomi Prinz, they were, Jim was with the CIA, long-term capital management, the Pentagon, and they're the inside on what's going on with money. Nomi Prinz was with Solomon and Lehman Brothers and Goldman Sachs. They're insiders. And I was this little guy on the outside trying to figure out what are those guys doing? How are it's almost like, what's the wizard doing? How is the wizard pulling these handles and all this? And we're all outside jumping around doing as they tell us. You should save money. Okay, I'll save money. You should buy stocks. Okay, I'll buy stocks. You should put some money in bonds. Okay, I'll buy. And I said, there's a wizard in there. I want to know who that wizard is. And so Jim and these guys are as close to the wizard as I could get. So that's why when I talk to young people, I say, look, it's a team sport. So the first person I have is a bookkeeper. Bookkeeper is the lowest paid person on my team, but the most important. The bookkeeper then keeps the accurate records that my accountant can use, and my attorney can use, and my banker can use. That's the combination there. And my banker, my attorney, and my accountant must work together as a team. Most people, they're bankers, accountants, and attorneys, don't work together as teams. Because in school, we're taught to take our tests on our own. If you ask for help, you're cheating. In my world, it's called cooperation. And what I found with most smart people, they don't know how to cooperate. They don't know how to ask for help, because in their brains, that's cheating. It means you're stupid. It means you're weak. I think one of the biggest crises is the young people. Today's young unemployed become tomorrow's unemployable. They lose valuable jobs, training skills. So I'm going to show you, since a picture's worth 1,000 words, I'll just show you some pictures about how rapidly this inequality, as well as opportunity inequality, is growing. So what's happening in America today, savers are losers. Most parents say to the kids, go to school and save money and work hard. But in 1970, when I graduated from school, $1 million at 15% interest earned me $150,000 a year. Now you could live on $150,000 a year back then. But in 2016, due to this thing called quantitative easing, I call it the Greenspan put. It's $1 million at negative 5 basis points. It's going to cost you $1 million to save $1 million. That is how deteriorated our financial systems have become. And this is one of the causes between the gap between the rich and the poor. It says real estate crisis, 6 million homeowners in forbearance. Very sad. Before they can receive stimulus money, forbearance means they need to re-qualify for the loan. They don't just get the money automatically. they have to re-qualify. If they lost their job or lost their credit, they may lose their home. So in other words, if you've lost your job in this COVID crisis, which is fake, and you're losing your home, it's in forbearance, but you've lost your job, the bank's still not going to give you the money. It's not like it's automatic. And then it's an opportunity to investors. It's sad news for homeowners and businesses and the country. Because if 6 million people are homeowners in America are in forbearance, that's a lot of people. So this pandemic must end, that's all I'm saying. And so they have come out with these fake vaccines and all that. And the reason I say they're fake is because there's more and more evidence coming out. Not that the vaccine isn't, not that the pandemic isn't real and all that, but the fear is more real. I call it the pandemic button. All they have to do is push the pandemic button and you strap on your mask. So I think this whole pandemic is basically a fascist control. You know, a fascist is somebody who tells you how to run your life.